Chris, who's in or on your team this week?
Yeah, we're taking an extended squad down there because we played on Saturday and we played Friday night and only had 6 days to train. We've got another training run this afternoon, so blokes like Ryan Lester and Lockie Neal are in calculations, but they need to train well this afternoon to get the final nod. So we'll take a few extras down there just in case.
The fact you've got a bye next week, how much does that work into your calculations?
No, it hasn't really. It all just depends on whether the players are fit or not. I don't really take that into consideration. Once the medical guys tick them off and say they're right to go, then that's all we need to hear, and we'll select them if they are right to go.
Let's start with Lockie. How good would it be to have him back?
Yeah, it would be good. Obviously, he's a very, very good player. Having said that, the blokes that have been playing in his spot have been tremendous over the last 5 weeks. We're very confident whether Lockie plays or whether he doesn't that we can continue on with our form. He trained well enough on Tuesday to make us think that he's a chance for tomorrow night, but we've still got to see how he goes this afternoon.
You've sounded almost a bit torn with the bye coming up about what to do with him. Will it be purely like a medical department decision?
Yeah, I always take those decisions out of my hands because I think that's the best. That's the best thing to do. The experts, and I listen to them, and got no reason not to. They've been really good over the last few years.
What about the fact you're playing Melbourne where they are on the ladder? Does that come into consideration?
No, not at all. The health and well-being of the player in the long run takes the most important part of the consideration as to whether they play or not about who you play. So. We've played some really good teams over the last few weeks, and we've been able to play well against them with the guys that we've had. So we're not in a rush.
It'd be very nice to have Ryan back, I imagine, too. Play with us, maybe a slightly smaller back line the last couple of weeks without him, and Melbourne's obviously got some big targets.
Yeah, they have. We were a little bit nervous the last few weeks without the tools, but we've defended well as a team. So the pressure up the field and the less supply really helped us, but they do have some good informed tall forwards in McDonald and Jackson and Wiedemann. So whether they pick a Ben Brown or not sure. So they've got plenty of artillery to put up there. So it is good to have Ryan hopefully back available again as long as he gets through training this afternoon.
In your experience, what normally wins the best attack or the best defence?
I think it's a combination of both. And look, both teams that are playing tomorrow night are very good offensively and very good defensively. So it's going to make for a great battle, I think. I think the balance that we have and the balance that they have at the moment between attacking and defence is very, very good. And I really don't think you can win a premiership without having both of those parts of your game in order.
What can we learn from tomorrow night? Sometimes we hype these matches up and it's only halfway through the season. What would you be hoping to learn from your team?
We'd just like to find out where we sit against Melbourne, who's been the benchmark team all year. We'll just gather a little bit of information, but it's like tomorrow night's one point in time, and the finals, if we get there, are in September, so that's 3 months away. So, and teams can be playing a lot differently by that point in time. So it'll give you a little bit of feedback. It's good to have that challenge right now for our group. I think we're ready for it. And we'll just see how we go.
I was just going to ask about your skipper. He walked in before, obviously. Like his, I don't know if it's a return to form, but his improvement in form probably in the last sort of 4 to 6 weeks. What have you seen as the reason behind it?
Look, he's had a great year so far from the start, I feel. Last year, his year was interrupted by pretty decent Achilles injury, and it was an incredibly brave effort for him to play. And I know people go, Zorko's form was a little bit off last year. Well, so it should have been, because he shouldn't have even been playing half the time. But this year he's been able to manage that injury a lot better, and his form has been exceptional. I think if you look at his numbers, his statistics, offensively and defensively, they're outstanding.
That says a lot about him, that he shouldn't have been playing last year, and he did.
Yeah, well, he's tough, and he's a team first man, and we're going pretty well, so we want to continue to be a part of it. So it wasn't as if he was too bad that he couldn't play, but we had to manage him seriously during the week and during the weeks. And when you only had small gaps between games, that was somewhat of a challenge. So, the day post game, he was always very sore. So, it was a good effort by him.
He's one of the best pressure men in the game. Is that where it could be one tomorrow night, like one act or one sort of?
Yeah, well, pressures are again a feature of both teams. Melbourne's pressure is exceptional. Ours has been absolutely fantastic. So it'll be on in that regard tomorrow night. It'll be a war of attrition, I think. And, to beat them, I think they've won the most quarters of footy this year, Melbourne. We're not too far behind them, so it's going to take a 4-quarter effort.
I know you've had these conversations probably dozens of times since you coached, but having to, if like Lockie or Ryan or both get up, how do you go about navigating the conversation with the guys that are left out from a team that's won so many in a row?
Oh, well, you just have an honest, you sit down and you explain the reasons why. That's all you can do. That and delisting players are the worst part of the job, particularly in the situation that we're in at the moment. If those two do get up, there's going to be a couple of guys in good form that go out of the team, and that's always hard to explain. But we all know that it takes more than 22 players to get to finals and play well in finals. You need a squad. So the good part about what's happened over the last 5 or 6 weeks is I feel like we've built a bit of depth, and we've got a bit more depth than I necessarily knew that we had, because it has to be proven that you've got it. So we've been able to do that the last few weeks.
When you do have to leave out a guy who's been in good form for a player coming back, what are those reasons why that you tell him? Is it just a matter of, sorry, he's a Brownlow medalist and you've done great, but it's
Yeah.
not?
Oh, well, look, we have certain roles for certain players, so you can only have so many of a certain type in the team. So if a Lockie Neal comes back, then somebody who plays in a similar position to him has to go out of the side. If you need another tall defender because the opposition team have got tall forwards, then that's a fairly easy explanation to make, even though no one wants to miss out. But there's usually good factual evidence behind why you make those decisions. So whoever misses out for Lockie Neal, he's missed out because the Brownlow medalist is maybe available to play this week. So yeah.
Is this Melbourne? When you start a season undefeated, sometimes it can be a little bit of luck of the draw. But they've been, they've played well enough at least now for long enough to prove that they're real contenders. Is this your best chance of proving your credentials?
Oh, it's a chance. There's another. What do we play? 11 games or halfway? So there's 11 games to go. So there'll be plenty more chances. You come up against teams like we're going to play Geelong again, Richmond again. Every step along the way either reinforces that you're on the right track or tells you you've got a little bit more work to do. And it doesn't matter which way it goes. It's all good as far as I'm concerned, because you learn from the experiences.
Do you think there's any lingering doubt from others about Brisbane's chances this year? And if there is, does it bother you?
I don't know, and I don't care, to be honest with you. I can't control what other people think. Can only look at our team and how they're going, and you get measured every week. So right now we're on a 7-game winning streak. We're going pretty good. We're either going to be on an 8-game winning streak or we're on a 1-game losing streak by the time we finish tomorrow night. Whichever way it goes, it's okay.